I'm Micah, and I'm going to take over this week's youth devotional. Now, I'm going to talk about how we, as Christians, should walk differently than the rest of the world. I want to show you how. Let me demonstrate with this guy over here. You don't want to walk like that guy. You want to walk like this guy. Now, that first guy, he was walking all goofy and weird because he's just living a life of pleasure. He's just in the world, doing his own thing, trying to figure out what is life. But the second guy, he's confident in the Word, he's confident in God, and he knows where he's going because they're relying on Christ first, and everything else comes second. In the scriptures, it says in Ephesians 4:17 through 18, "Therefore I say this and testify in the Lord, you should no longer live as the Gentiles live, in the futility of their thoughts. They are darkened in their understanding, excluded from the life of God, because of the ignorance that is in them and because of the hardness of their hearts." Now this leads me to my second point. Living a life of Christ, not of the world. That's Ephesians 4:19. Summarized. Now let's say this is the world. This is the pleasures of the world. Obviously you can tell I had 3. I could eat a lot more. Now obviously you could say, oh, 1 was not satisfying enough. I wanted more. Now that might be good on a short-term basis, but it does not provide anything for a long-term, meaningful life. Now, this banana, on the other hand, is like living a long-lived relationship with Christ. It's satisfying, it's fulfilling, and it's going to have lifelong benefits. So when we stop living for pleasure and decide to live for Christ, our walk begins to change to where we walk in our new self towards Christ. So when we start to walk like this guy, so to summarize, when we become Christians, we start to put on the new self. And how do we do that? Is by living a Christ-centered life rather than a worldly-centered life. We start to make decisions that align with God's will rather than our own desires and pleasures. And that way, we begin the process of putting on the new self.